In early 2025, the Trump administration's proposal for a sweeping 25% tariff on imported automobiles and parts sent shockwaves through the American economy, reverberating from Wall Street to small-town Main Streets. The announcement was met with immediate concern from industry leaders, economists, and workers alike, as the implications of such a drastic policy shift began to unfold. Rumors quickly spread that Toyota and Honda, two automotive giants deeply embedded in the U.S. manufacturing landscape, were considering leaving the country. These companies, which had invested billions in American plants and employed tens of thousands, suddenly faced an uncertain future. With tens of thousands of American jobs at stake, panic set in across communities built around these factories. Local businesses, schools, and entire neighborhoods depended on the steady paychecks from these plants, and the threat of closure sent ripples of anxiety through every corner of these towns. The idea of these companies vanishing raised urgent questions about the stability of jobs and the future of American industry. Would these communities survive another economic blow, or would they become the latest casualties in a rapidly changing global economy? Tariffs threatened to make it financially unsustainable for these automakers to continue building cars in the U.S., fueling speculation about their next move. Executives weighed their options, while workers braced for the worst, unsure if their livelihoods would soon disappear. The core issue was simple. Higher costs from tariffs could either squeeze profits or be passed on to consumers, making cars less competitive. This dilemma put pressure on both automakers and American families, who worried about rising prices and shrinking choices. In this climate of uncertainty, the most alarming scenario, a complete withdrawal, dominated headlines and public debate. The nation watched anxiously, wondering if the backbone of American manufacturing was about to be fundamentally reshaped. The Urban Institute, a nonpartisan research group, analyzed the potential fallout if Toyota and Honda left the U.S. Together, these companies operate 18 plants and employ over 55,000 Americans across 13 states. The Institute warned that plant closures could trigger a devastating chain reaction, with total job losses, direct and indirect, approaching 500,000. Even a temporary halt in production would inflict severe, lasting damage on local economies. The report underscored how each factory job supports a web of other jobs, from suppliers to local businesses. The message was clear. Threatening these plants means gambling with the economic well-being of entire communities. The impact of a shutdown would hit hardest in the small towns that host these plants. Often the largest and best-paying employers, these factories are the backbone of local economies. The Urban Institute projected unemployment in some counties could spike by over 30 percentage points almost overnight. Local safety nets would be overwhelmed, and public services like schools and emergency responders would face drastic cuts. Small businesses, from diners to hardware stores, would struggle as consumer spending dried up. The loss of a cornerstone employer could turn vibrant communities into ghost towns, with hardship lasting for generations. The economic shock wouldn't stay local. It would ripple nationwide. The loss of 55,000 direct jobs could trigger another 410,000 job losses in related industries, from suppliers to logistics. As contracts vanished, layoffs would spread across states and sectors, revealing the deep interconnectedness of the U.S. supply chain. Consumer spending would plummet, hitting retail, hospitality, and entertainment sectors hard. The story of potential auto plant closures shows how a single policy can send shockwaves through the entire economy. In a globalized world, disruption in one region can threaten the stability of the whole system. As panic grew, fact-checkers at Snopes investigated the viral claims that Toyota and Honda were leaving the U.S. Their investigation found the rumors were false. Neither company had announced plans to close their American plants. Both automakers issued clear statements denying any intention to shut down operations. The rumors likely stemmed from misinterpretations of news about the potential impact of tariffs. Snopes's work highlighted how quickly economic fears can spiral into misinformation online. Their fact-check calmed public anxiety by replacing rumor with verified facts. In response to swirling rumors about potential plant closures and shifting production overseas, Toyota and Honda moved quickly to reaffirm their strong commitment to U.S. manufacturing. Both companies issued public statements and held press conferences to address concerns directly. They emphasized their decades of investment in American plants, the thousands of jobs they've created, and their deep ties to local communities. Executives reassured workers and their families that closures were not on the table and that their presence in the U.S. remains vital to their business strategy. Despite these reassurances, industry groups cautioned that proposed tariffs could still raise production costs, threaten existing jobs, and ultimately increase car prices for American consumers, creating uncertainty for the entire sector. The automakers' statements provided short-term relief and helped calm immediate fears. But the underlying economic concerns and anxieties among workers and management remained unresolved. This episode demonstrated how quickly rumors can spark panic and disrupt operations, but also highlighted the importance of clear, transparent communication in restoring stability and confidence within the workforce. While immediate fears of plant closures proved unfounded, the ongoing debate over tariffs and their potential long-term impact on the auto industry continued to dominate headlines and boardroom discussions. The future of American auto manufacturing remained uncertain, with every policy decision and trade negotiation now under intense scrutiny from both industry leaders and government officials. The tariff episode revealed the complex and often challenging reality facing American workers and manufacturers. For many, the promise of protection through tariffs is appealing, but the actual impact is far more complicated than it first appears. While major automakers like Toyota and Honda weren't planning to leave the U.S., a 25% tariff on cars and parts would significantly raise costs for all automakers, both foreign and domestic, making vehicles more expensive for everyone. Higher prices would likely reduce consumer demand, hurt sales, and threaten thousands of jobs, the very jobs tariffs are supposed to protect. Small towns and communities that rely on these factories could be hit especially hard. Trade groups argue that tariffs are essentially a hidden tax on American consumers, destabilizing the market and creating uncertainty for businesses and families alike. In today's global auto industry, parts cross international borders multiple times before final assembly, making the supply chain deeply interconnected and sensitive to policy changes. Disrupting this intricate system with tariffs not only harms U.S. competitiveness, but also puts the future of American manufacturing jobs at serious risk. The story is a stark reminder. Policy decisions made in Washington have real, lasting consequences for families, workers, and the entire American economy, shaping lives in ways that are often unexpected.